Ralocha and welcome back to my channel. My name is Polo Matlala, and if you're here for the first time, Rago Amogela, we welcome you to our family. And if you are a returning subscriber, halala, halala, we thank you for your support. And following last week's video about how I got pregnant at the age of 19, I thought that I should share my story about how I had to go and apply for the child support grant. So the child support grant is a grant that is provided by the South African government to cater for the needs of children, and it's just a measure, to help out a category of parents that are not able to provide for their children. So at the moment in time in South Africa, there are about 13 million children who are covered by the child support grant, So yeah, I also found myself in that situation a couple of years ago after I had my child. So in the previous story, I did mention that although the father of the child was working, the income was not enough to cover everything. So with that said, my mom asked me to go and apply for the child support grant. And guys, when you grow up in poverty, there are certain things that you identify and you just tell yourself that I don't want to find myself in this situation. So growing up in Hammanskraal, there had been some of my peers who got pregnant along the way, in middle school, in high school. They got pregnant and they found themselves in a situation whereby they had to apply for the child support grant because they needed it, And I had always told myself that, this is just not going to be me. I don't want to live this life. I want to have a child when I'm financially stable, when I'm able to take care of my child. But that was not to be. So I had my child and I was a student and I had to go and apply for the grant. This was a suggestion from my mother. First time she spoke about it, I was like, yeah, are you sure you're talking to me? So she was like, hey, ngwana o tlhoka dilo, and then o ka tsamaya wa ilo apply for grant hore ngwana at least re mo tholle dilo. I'm like basically telling me that there are some things that the child needs, and yeah, we don't have enough money, so I need to go and apply. First time I ignored her. I was like, I just agreed so that she doesn't bother me. I was like, okay, mama, I'll go and apply. And after seeing that I was not doing anything about the suggestion, she came back again and said, apply for grant, and how so we? The third time around, the enforcer was there. The enforcer is my dad. So my mom started talking. Hey, wara. And my dad was like, just go and apply for the grant because the child needs the money and will be able to cover some of the things. So I went. Yo, guys. So at that time we were living in Buipatong in the Val. So Buipatong doesn't have the social services office, the SASSA office. So I had to go to Sharpeville to go and apply for the grant because I decided to get pregnant. Wow. I had to go, and at that time, guys, there was no money. There was no money. There was not even money for me to take a taxi to the Sharpeville offices, which was the closest. I took that walk, and it was a long walk, shame. It was like 40 minutes walk to the Sharpeville offices. And along the way, I was just thinking about my life, and reflecting. And I was just thinking to myself, how did I get to this point where I have to go now and apply body child support grant. And I was just disappointed with myself and beating myself up on my way to the offices. And I'm just thinking that, with government offices, you never know who you are going to find there. And the service there, you never know. Maybe it's a long queue and all those things. But then I just go. And luckily enough, on that day, Shem, I got the sweetest woman. And she explained everything, how it works and how long I will have to wait before the application is processed and to know whether I've been approved or not. And I went through the whole application, filled in the forms, and they took the documents that they needed. And then I left and I was to go and check. I think it was in 6 weeks, but I stand to be corrected. I think it was in 6 weeks that I had to check my status. And when I went back, they said that, yes, it's fine. I have been approved. And I qualified, guys. Like, I had nothing. I was a student. Like, I had nothing. Okay, the actual day of receiving receiving the grant then happens. And the night before, I'm just dreading already the day. I'm like, I have to now go and queue. Hey, at this point, I'm like, hey, life has humbled me, man. Life has humbled me. The whole of me. Go queuing. I go post office. Receiving a grant. SASSA. That was not part of my plan. But then I go the next day because otherwise I don't have a choice anyway. So I go to the Buipatong clinic. It was the clinic, no, the hall. Yes, the Buipatong hall. That's where the SASSA at the time, I don't know now, SASSA would set up there for the payments. And I got there and, people were just queuing and going about that day. And I was queuing just next to this lady who's bubbly and chatty, and I think that also helped me to deal with my overthinking at that point, because she was chatty, talking, and the day SASSA grants, it's busy, man. People are selling stuff, because with all the hive of activity there, I completely forgot about my sorrows, I forgot about the disappointment and everything. And I started speaking to the lady, and she was just chatty, bubbly, didn't have problems, and talking about, hey, are they setting up? Hey, why? Looks as if they're taking longer. And this is my first time. I'm just kind of absorbing everything that is happening around me. And so this was my first payment. And when I got inside, I asked them about how I could receive the money through the bank, what I needed to do. And then I applied to have my payment through the bank. I didn't mind the charges. I just didn't want to see myself on a SASSA queue, child grant queue, because it was not my plan. It was not my plan. And following that, I received all my payments through the bank, and the charges were not that bad. And that's my SASSA story, basically. And this is not intended to mock people that are receiving grants. We live in an economy that is not experiencing growth, and besides growth, even when there is growth, it's a jobless growth. There are no new jobs created, and we are sitting with a 33.9% unemployment rate, with the majority of those people who are unemployed as the youth. So as a country, we are going through a lot, and I think also with the coronavirus pandemic, it just worsened things. And given the fact that people got pay cuts because of corona and inflation, it's even beyond the cap. Yeah, 6%, it's beyond that cap because of everything that is happening in Russia, the impact of the pandemic. Like, there's so many things that are happening. So if you are a child grant recipient, look, man, it's the way it is. We hope that the government will create jobs. We hope that those of us that went to school and we've been through the system, let's try and think about how we can create jobs, because the government won't be able to do that alone. It's our responsibility as the whole society to come up with ways we can create jobs. So yeah, if you are in that situation, Ash, it is what it is. According to this report that I saw earlier, there's like 50% of the population in South Africa depends on grants. It's unfortunate that I couldn't go through the entire report, so I can't say it with authority as if I went through the report. And yeah, South Africa is just going through a lot with a high level of inequality as well. So there are a whole lot of things happening. So we hope that things will change and people will be able to work, contribute to the economy. And until then, it is what it is. So yeah, guys, until the next video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And be kind, be safe, take care of yourself, and please follow me on Facebook at Polo Matlala, and on Twitter I'm at Matlala Polo, and on Instagram I'm at Polo_Matlala. Until the next video, ciao.